Sun is playing peekaboo with us, and it's put me in a mood to bring out my watercolors and doodle something. So if you have 20 minutes to spare, then dust off your art supplies and join along with me. Today I'm using the Viviva Winter Pans Set, but feel free to pick up any watercolor that you have on hand. Lately I've been seeing Christmas decor shops popping up around my city, and there were these absolutely gorgeous stack of red berries in one of the shops. Artificial, of course, because it's not native to my city, but it just so happened to be set against this blue wrapping paper when I was in the shops, and that combination of these icy uh, cold blues with this striking pop of red has been stuck in my mind since then. And today I just wanted to see how it looks on my sketchbook, and I want to play around with a bit of blues and a pop of red. So I am going to be doodling some red berries today. To start off, I'm lightly penciling in 2 or more circles in the middle of the page, and then I'm adding some light blue tones around the circles. I'm painting around the berries that I've already penciled in, making sure that I don't cross over or paint inside the circle. But on the outer part, it's free reign. Paint any of your favorite blues. I'm starting with the lightest shade and then slowly building up to mid tones and the darker shades, even throwing in a little bit of purple and mixing it with the blues on my palette to create this lilac or lavender color that adds a bit of variance to the background. So my background is not one plain clean background. It has a little bit of variation. It looks almost like soft clouds, and on the periphery of the background, like towards the end of the page, towards the edges of the page, I am adding the darkest blue. In my set, it is the Arctic blue. If you have a Prussian blue or any other kind of dark blue, add that to the edges of your page. Goal is to get the background to look like soft cotton candy or maybe twilight clouds, something that's like super abstract, against which the red of the berries will pop up. At this point, I felt like as I was painting on the background, some of the shape of the berry was lost. In trying not to go over the edge of the berries, I had left a lot of space next to it. So I'm just filling in the gaps, making sure that the circle is looking like a circle and not like a hexagon. To start working on the berries themselves, starting off with the Christmas red from this palette and slightly diluting it with water. I'm going into the center of the page directly creating a bright red circle in the middle of the page where we left some space. Take your time with this, but know that it's okay if you slightly go over and cross over the pencil marks that you had already put down. We can always deepen up the color. For the shadows of the berries, so since these are two berries growing right next to each other, then there will be a little bit of a cast shadow from one berry to the other. So I am using another red from the set called the mulled wine, which is a much more duller, almost purplish burgundy kind of color. And I'm mixing into the red that I've already had on the palette to create the shadows, and I'm applying this in the in that particular place where the two berries meet. And I'm also adding a little bit more of the blues to this particular mixture to deepen up the shadows. As you can see on my palette, it's looking almost like a lavender or a purple. And I'm doing this for the berries as well, to give the berries a little bit more of the rounded spherical 3D effect. Add a little bit of shadow to the berry also, not just to the edges, but also on the part of the berry that is going to be on the shadow where there's not much light. This set did come with a white. But as I was painting this, I felt like I had to wait for the white to be visible and I was not feeling patient enough to do that. So I moved on to the branches, and towards the end you will see what I do for the highlights. For the branches, I start off with the cocoa brown and add in a few other colors as well. So I go in with a little bit more of the Christmas red, the winter greens, and even just a touch of Arctic blue to create this cool, almost neutral brown. I like mixing my own versions of the browns to make it feel more realistic to what we see in nature. Sometimes it's good to be practicing to mix your own colors. And of course, like, you can always go in straight up with the brown from the pan, if that's what pan or tube, whichever watercolor that you are using, if you prefer that, of course. Now it's time to move on to the leaves. Add some leaves to this branch, and I use a mix of winter green, the deepest green in the palette, and added a touch of red to it. I think I used the mulled wine for this particular combo. Adding red to green just deepens the color a little bit and makes it a slightly dull as well. So it's not quite as vibrant, which allows the red of the berries to be the focal point of the painting rather than grabbing attention to the leaves. So I wanted the leaves to be slightly duller. At this point, the berries are starting to dry up, but it's looking slightly lighter. So I wanted to go in with a second layer of the same mix. I have mixed Christmas red with mulled wine, but this time I have not added too much of the mulled wine color, so the red shows up far more, and that's why the color on the palette looks super vibrant. The uh, the previous layer almost works like an underpainting for watercolor. I can still see the shadows that we had put down, but I'm just going in with another touch of blue to the part where the two berries connect, just to emphasize that shadow a little bit, just to emphasize and darken that particular region a smidge more, so the separation between the two berries is evident. I'm going with more of the mulled wine to deepen up that joint between the stem of the berry and the branch. So I decided to bring out my oil pastels to add the highlights to the berries, but at the end I felt like I wanted something a bit more sparkly. Like, the background was so beautiful and magical that it needed a little bit of glitter to it. So had to uh, I had to dip into the metallics of the set and added started adding the metallic blues to the background. I'm going in straight from the pan for this because it just shows up better. And then I tried the metallic gray on the berries, but I like gold. I just love playing with the gold watercolor. So just for whimsy, I added a little bit of gold for the highlights of the berry. And I'm also going to be adding this same gold to the veins of the leaves and splattering it across the page. It just adds something fun, and you don't have to follow exactly what you see in the wild. You can have fun within your sketchbooks, and playing around with the gold watercolor is my way of doing that. My way of not being super rigid with what I do, what I paint. And you can see just how sparkly the gold is. It's shimmering right off the page, and yeah, with that the painting is done, and I'm super happy with how this experiment turned out. I really like how the red and the blues are working together in this scene, and I hope you liked it as well. Let me know if you liked it. Let me know if you tried it out. I would love to see what you guys come up with. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'll see you next time. Until then, happy painting.